Hey, everybody, welcome to RiverCity-Media. Beyond the Booth, I'm Howie Chaney, and of course, you know the man to my right over there, Phil Harris. I'm sorry, guys. I got to do something real quick. I'm not used to Phil being over there on that side, so let's flip it around a little bit. So, welcome to Beyond the Booth, Phil Harris, and the man in the middle, Jack State signee, Luke Gilbert from Pisgah. Luke, thanks for joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all for letting me come on the show.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for taking time out of your spring break. I mean, out of all the time you finally get off, as we were talking about beforehand, you play all three sports. So spring break is about the only time you get a break from when school starts till now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. But I'm glad to be on. And like I told you earlier, I went down to Jacksonville today, working out a little bit. So it is spring break. I do have baseball off this week, though. We play Friday, but I got baseball off. So that's good news.
So you may not be able to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. You said you were sitting in on some meetings. What type of meetings were they?
Okay, so just like position meetings. So we'll have, whenever I go down there, they didn't today, but generally they'll have a team meeting down there at Jacksonville. I'll sit in on that. They'll just go over how practice is going to go for the day. Then we'll break off, go to position meetings. I'll sit in the tight end room, and they'll get on the board and draw. And it's a lot for me to process right now, but I'm trying to learn the playbook and just things like that. And so just basically sitting in position meetings.
So when you go to Jacksonville, you be a tight end. You be your position.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'll be a tight end.
Cool, awesome. I know it probably a little bit early, but do you know what number you're going to be wearing while you're there?
No, I do not. So I've always worn one and everything. That's probably a far shot, but I doubt I'll be wearing number one. Probably somewhere in the 80s for this year, I bet. But I'm not for sure. Hopefully I can get a low number.
Let's say you can't get one for some reason. What number would you like to have?
I don't know. I was actually talking about this the other day with one of my friends. I think I'd like to have a low number, but generally your first year you wind up in the 80s as a tight end. But which I'm not against that. Dad was 88, so I guess I would have to go there. I mean, just a legacy, I guess, of somewhat he would think it would be.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. At least you'll be on the team.
Yeah.
We had someone on here, of course, it's high school, and I asked him why he wore that number. He said, well, it's just the last one in the box. So I just got it, and I wore it my whole career,
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they'll let you pick, something. You never know. Every school's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we kind of talked about it a little bit before we went on. Phil asked you this, and I will steal his question. The regimen that they've got you on and everything. How difficult is it for you to deal with and also continue to play baseball?
So with being in baseball right now, I'm not working out as heavy as I would outside of baseball just because I am in season of a sport. My dad does stay on me about that though, because whenever I get down there, I'm going to be shocked and it is going to be hard. But they have sent me a workout regimen, and it's a lot. Like when they first sent it to me, it took me a while to even decipher it and figure out, what I had to do and things like that. But yeah, like you said earlier, it's not for everybody, and it is a lot. And when I get down there, it's definitely going to be a shock, but I do have it.
Now I can't remember the exact date, but you told us the date that you report, but it's not very long after graduation, is it?
No, so we graduate May 22nd, and I report May 27th.
Oh, wow. Just a quick turnaround, then you're right back at it again.
Yep.
Why is it so quick of a turnaround? Do you know?
I guess just to get in there and start summer workouts. I start summer workouts the day after I report. So the 28th, we'll start working out. And I don't really know what all we can do in the summer. I'm sure you can run routes and stuff like that. But, I mean, the first time I put on pads will be fall camp. So August.
Cool. Phil, I'll turn it over to you, buddy.
Well, I was wondering about Luke. I wonder, as far as that goes, of course, you won't start school then. But I wonder, I guess they will give you a lot of things to do where you spend a lot of time with the players off the field to kind of sort of get to know each other. And when the veterans come in, you'll kind of mesh with them. So I guess it's kind of sort of attribute you to college, because when you get down there, you have been used to going home. Well, you're not going to be doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what my dad tells me, that it's always a good thing that I'm going in the summer, because I'll have that time where I can adapt to college, but like you said, I won't have a ton of classes. I won't be, necessarily in season or anything. So I'll be able to come home occasionally and just kind of acclimate myself to college without just going straight into fall camp in the fall semester.
Have you talked to any of the guys what the difference is between Coach Rodriguez and Coach Kelly?
I have talked to some of the players, but that topic hasn't really came up, I guess. I've talked to Coach Kelly a number of times, and I really like him. I did talk to Coach Rodriguez a few times, but I don't know enough to tell you the differences of where it was and where it's going. I don't really know enough to tell you.
Yeah, I just wondered if you had talked to any of the veterans. Well, tell me, back when you was going through the recruiting process, of course, you had a lot of offers out there. I think Austin Peay. There were several around. And of course, at first, you kind of sort of verbally committed to UAB. But then when Coach Kelly got the job at Jacksonville State, from what I understood, he really come hard after you.
Yeah.
Was that something that kind of sort of caught your eye, that stood out at that point, that somebody was really taking a lot of time to come after you?
Yes. So at UAB, it was kind of a long process. I went to camp in the summer, got an offer then, committed later on to play defense. I don't really see myself as a defensive player, but it's my biggest offer, and I thought that's what would be best for me at the time. So after I was already committed to UAB, fully planned on going there and everything, Coach Kelly got hired. Hired the tight ends coach, Coach Housewright, the offense coordinator, Coach Trickett. They both really liked me a lot. So they called me one day and were like, "Hey, we know that you're committed, but this is what we have for you. This is our vision. We want you to come down. We'll talk to you more about it." And I just loved it. They let me play offense, which is good. And I just think that that's where I fit in more. And I think I knew that pretty early on.
Well, what coach did you really lock in with?
Coach Housewright. He's the tight ends coach, and I go and sit in his meetings. I took him so we have chicken houses. I took him some eggs down there today. We get along pretty well. I like him a lot.
Well, tell me this, and when you decided to go to Jacksonville State, and of course, I guess you discussed this with your dad, because he's a big part of your life, naturally being your coach. Was he kind of sort of liking that? Because this will give you the opportunity to maybe come home every once in a while and pick up chicken, right?
So come home, but not pick up chickens, I don't think. Just come home. I'm picking up chickens right now. So getting that all out before I go. So I'm not for when I come home.
That's not going to be a factor. But no. Of course, I mean, he'll just probably love it and having you home to visit every once in a while.
Yes, I think that's where it'll be.
Well, tell me your relationship with your dad. I mean, I call games when your dad played. He was an outstanding football player, and I know he's a big attention to detail. Is on the field, does he have a whole lot of expectations of you?
So yes, definitely. That's that question. The answer is yes. He does, but this year, kind of me and him, me being the quarterback and him calling plays, we saw eye to eye on a lot of things, and so it went pretty smooth. But in years past, it's been training me and like teaching me what to do, when to do it, everything like that. And then this year, we kind of like worked together to make it work, and it was good.
Well, really, you're a coach on the field because you actually see things he don't see. Because that was kind of when I played offensive lineman at Valley Head, that was kind of one of the things that I did. A lot of times Coach Kirby would pick my brain because of what I saw. John was the quarterback, and he picked his brain, but then he would pick my brain, what was the defensive line, so to speak, was doing. So really, you being a coach on the field is, gives him another set of eyes.
Mm-hmm. And we definitely utilized that this year, for sure.
It was oftentimes, did you maybe talk him out of a play and talk him into another play? Maybe in a timeout, he was thinking one thing and you were thinking another.
Maybe sometimes I would just run a different play, maybe like just call a different play and run it. So maybe did that once or twice. It worked like every time, but maybe once or twice. When it didn't work, he got really mad. But when it did,
Hey, I can understand. Well, tell me this: did you ever have this kind of thing happen in practice? I mean, I know Coach Pruitt and your dad talked about this. Is sometimes Coach Pruitt was usually the nice guy, and sometimes you played good cop, bad cop. Him and Coach Gilbert would do that.
mm-hmm.
Did maybe sometimes Coach Gilbert in practice use you as an example to kind of set the tone for the team? Maybe if he was wanting to get on everybody else, he kind of got heavy on you, so everybody else steps back and goes, "Wow, he's mad."
For sure. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I understood that. I mean, that was something that I understood, but it still, made me a little mad, but I still understood it. So it was all right.
Yeah, because I remember one time Coach Kirby got mad at us, and John messed up something. Of course, you're talking about, who I'm talking about, John Kirby, but
Mm-hmm.
he messed up, and Coach Kirby got in his grill and told him, he goes, "Young man," he goes, I can pull your pants down, take my belt off, and wear your butt out. I can't touch these other guys, but I can you. And everybody was like, "Holy smokes, he's mad."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of the way those things work. Well, yeah. I know with Coach Kelly coming in, I looked at kind of sorted the recruits that are coming in this fall. It looks like his base of recruiting is going to be kind of the way it was when he was at Auburn, because he come at Auburn as the co-defensive coordinator, I think it was. But most of the recruits are coming from the Georgia area, from the Alabama area, some from the Florida area. But, in close, a good nucleus around. Is he going to recruit more around the local area? I know a couple of the names, that was very like Cleet Forrest, the kicker, there was one kid from Gadsden, one from Etowah. So is he going to try to recruit more around the local area?
Yeah, they're definitely not shunning away local talent at all. That's kind of one of the first things that they came to me about, is that, a lot of schools will try to go and think that they're doing more work to go and find these kids far off, but they're not shunning local talent. They're going to go off and get the guys that they need, and they're also going to get the guys around here that can play. And so that's what they said, is that locally they're going to recruit heavily.
Well, tell me this. I know you talked about this before. You're a country boy. You enjoy probably running equipment and working around the farm and that type of thing. If you decide that isn't what you're going to do when you get to college, what are some of the things you might be interested in?
So right now, my major is listed as business and accounting. Just because I like math, and I'm going to do business starting off just because I'm going to see how hard it is to juggle school and football, because obviously it's going to be something that's not easy. But I've thought about being a teacher and a coach. That's what everybody tells me that I'm going to be, but I'm not there yet. I mean, maybe, but I'm not there yet. But I don't know. Jacksonville doesn't have engineering. They have pre-engineering. So I'm not against that, but they don't have like a full engineering school. So I don't really know. I'm still undecided, but I am majoring in business and accounting right now. So.
Yeah, well, you've got plenty of time. I just was wondering maybe what some of your interests were. But tell me this, Howie had talked about this, about your busy football, basketball, baseball, constantly something going on. What are some of the things you do when you kind of sort of get away?
Definitely hang out with my friends all the time. I'm always hanging out with my friends or my girlfriend or somebody, even my grandparents. Like I'm always gone doing something. Like I said, we just got back from Blue Ridge this last weekend. We had a great time. I do hunt a good bit. I really like to duck hunt. I like to fish. I went bow fishing last night. Just casual hobbies, really.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about your high school career. I lost in the region final in basketball. I lost to a very good section team, but that day you made a name for yourself. I think you scored 35 points. really, I wouldn't say showed out, but really played a great basketball game down at the region final. Is that really special to get to play in that region tournament down at Jacksonville?
It's always special. So even, before the season starts, as the season's starting, Coach Koger, he came in, did a great job for us. I was actually on the phone with him just before we got on here, just talking to him. I love Coach Koger, but before the season even started, that's the goal. You get to Jacksonville, you don't know what's going to happen from there. And so that's what we did. Won the first game, got beat by Section, who's a great team, obviously. But that's the goal, and we obtained the goal. So.
Well, tell me about this. Of course, Coach Gilbert, was your position coach. What kind of relationship did you have with Coach Pruitt? I know he's an outstanding person. What are your thoughts on him?
Coach Pruitt, yes, definitely an outstanding person. Go to church with him. I talk to him anytime I see him at school. I'll go talk to him. I've talked to him about Jacksonville State's offense multiple times. Getting his, things to help me out. Somebody I can go to for advice. But Coach Dixie was, I guess, my dad coached me, but the quarterback coach was Coach Dixie. So I really love Coach Dixie too. You said something about my position coach, so that was him, and I really like him. I don't know if you know him. He's like 6 foot a lot, and he's a big guy, so you can't miss him if you come to Pisgah.
Yeah. I'm sure I've seen him around. So.
Yeah.
Definitely so. Well, of course, the highlight of last season had to be that 5 game. That was the monkey on y'all's back for 2 straight years. You lost them in the semifinals. What did it mean to win that football game?
I was talking to somebody about that today, ironically. I was talking about how just packed it was. There was a ton of people there, obviously, and it just kicked off the season in a positive way. We knew that after that any questions that we might have had about the seniors that we lost and how we were going to be without them, we definitely missed them. But any of those questions were definitely answered after that game. We knew that, hey, we're going to be fine. We can go deep again this year. And so it was really just kind of set the trend for the rest of the season more than anything else. It was great to win finally, obviously, but it really just set the trend for the rest of the season is the biggest thing that it did for us.
Yeah, definitely. So, you had 3 great seasons, semifinals, year 4 last, semifinals last year, and then quarterfinals this year. And I know it was disappointing losing to Tuscaloosa Academy, but there was one player's dad that I talked to. He said it was one of those nights where you just kind of had to tip your cap to Preston Lancaster. He just had his day.
He had a heck of a game. He's a heck of a player. I met him down at the 2A back of the year banquet down in Montgomery. I met him down there, talked to him. We talked about the game, obviously, because our junior year, we beat them, and then this year they beat us. And so, we had a lot to talk about, but I like him. He's definitely a great player. I think he's going to play somewhere up in Tennessee, maybe Division II ball. So I think he'll do good things.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe he'll there and maybe up a little bit. Well, I want to ask you about this. I know you're just getting into college, and there's all this talk about NIL. Going to Jacksonville State, are there things that that the NIL affects? I know I'm a season ticket holder to Tennessee. Starting next year, each player gets paid, so we're paying part of that with their season tickets. Is that kind of thing going to happen eventually in the state of Alabama? Or are there opportunities for you in something like that down the road?
There's definitely opportunities. Playing time you could get incentives. You can get local deals. You can, you can just message any big company and try to get deals. But no, I haven't really talked money with them yet. I doubt. That wasn't really a big deal for me. I was just glad to have the opportunity to go down there and try to earn a spot on the field.
Yeah, I can imagine that's the way it is for most everybody. You got to get your foot in the door first. But I was just wondering because a lot of us we hear everybody talk about that, but a lot of us don't understand the ins and outs. And of course, you got to learn that too.
Oh yes, I definitely do. I don't understand it either. I have little understanding. I've talked to coaches about it, talked to people about it, just to try to get an understanding a little bit. But no, it's not something that I would know enough about to explain or anything.
Yeah, definitely so. But maybe that's something in the future. Um, of course, you're getting started at tight end. I know that's probably the position you want to play, but be other opportunities to play maybe a different position because you kind of are a multi position type players. Is there somewhere else you think they might try you down the road?
Yeah, so I am going to be playing tight end, but they definitely, I feel like I will line up in the slot some, playing slot, tight end with my hand down, maybe line up in the backfield a little bit, but I don't really know. But yes, they did talk about, moving me around and using me in the way that you're talking about, kind of versatile.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so because I'm sure you can block for sure. I saw you block when you was playing before you went to the quarterback position, but also you can catch the football. So, you're a multi-positional player, and you're probably one of those players that when you get on the field, you'll probably be on the field every down.
Yes, I hope so. That's kind of the vision that I think that they see from me, and I hope that it is.
Well, tell me this. Your dad has been coaching you for a long time. Is there a couple of things you can share with, maybe a couple of embarrassing moments for him in his past that you can kind of share with us? Kind of throw him under the bus a little bit.
So my brothers always kid me and say that that he was harder on them. So I have two older brothers and a younger brother. My two older brothers played for Dad at North Sand and Arab. And they always say that he's gone soft and he's easier on me. Well, I just kid him and say that it's just because I pay attention and he don't have to get on me as much. But no, he does get on me. But there's stories, I guess. I mean, I heard stories about him grabbing my brother's face mask and slinging him around and all this other stuff. Stories get stretched. But no, he's never done really anything crazy like that to me. Not really.
Not really done anything, not anything. No. But I just wonder if maybe he's embarrassed himself at times. I know I was talking to Coach Kennemer. Coach Kennemer.
Oh, yeah.
He was telling me a story one time during practice. He got mad at everybody. They ran a play, they blocked, and he said, I just flew off the handle. He said, I went to chewing everybody out. I made them do grass drills and just all kind of stuff. And he said, and I was so mad nobody would say anything to me. But when it got over with, somebody said, hey, Coach, they ran the right play. And so he said, I didn't know what to do. So he said, I just finally said, hey, this is lesson learned. He said, somebody every once in a while, you're going to get accused of something you didn't do, that you're going to have to pay the consequences anyway. So he said, I didn't know what else to say. But see, things like that are funny when you hear coaches tell stories like that.
Yeah, nothing comes to my brain, but I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting about, but nothing really comes to my brain.
I know he'll give me a hard time when he's around. Oh, he said, Phil's around here. I got to watch what I say. And then I know one time they were sitting around in a group, and a bunch of them was talking, and he saw me standing there, and he goes, oh no, he said, I'm afraid to say anything around Phil. He's probably got a direct line to Coach Benefield, so I don't need to say anything real big. So he'll usually give me a hard time when I'm around. But I know you've heard stories about your dad, but like I said before, he was one of the most clutch football players I've ever seen. When Pisgah needed a big play, he was always there. And, incidentally, his team got to the state championship, and he's the only player in Pisgah football history that scored a touchdown in a championship game. So, he's made his legacy not only as a player, but as a coach. And I know he's an outstanding person, too. And I know he's a great dad for you.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is. He doesn't really reminisce on the old stories too much because he knows we'll give him a hard time about it. But I know he was a great player, and people tell me that all the time.
Yeah, he really was. I got to see him, and I enjoyed it, getting to see him play in his day. Well, Howie, I'll let you take over a little bit, ask a few questions if you want to.
Yeah, I'm sorry I disappeared there for a second. My power went off here at the house for a second. I don't know what happened. So Luke, you ready to get to know Luke a little bit better? Or we are. You ready to answer some questions?
Yeah.
Rapid fire questions here. Quick stuff. Your favorite football player?
Lamar Jackson.
Favorite basketball player?
LeBron James.
Baseball player?
I don't watch baseball. Go basic. Probably Tatis.
I had to ask you those three because you play all three sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Your favorite teacher?
Coach Koger.
Favorite music you like listening to?
Country.
Favorite food you like to eat?
Japanese.
Favorite place to eat?
Carmine's.
Where's that at?
It's off. It's like there's one in New York, one in Vegas. We ate it when we went to the Bahamas. It's Italian. It's so good.
And your favorite podcast?
RiverCity-Media. I don't listen to any podcasts, so I had to get there.
Hey, he's right. He's spot on. Hey.
There you go. Hey, if you can answer those questions that quick, you're going to make it fine down at Jacksonville.
All right, I hope so.
What do you look forward to the most when you go down to Jacksonville?
I don't know. I guess definitely look forward to football. Look forward to I already know my roommate. We talk a little bit. He's from Briarwood, but I look forward to meeting new people, adapting to a different kind of lifestyle. I'm not going to forget where I'm from, of course, but it's a lot like home, but it's going to be a lot different too. So I'm just looking forward to just adapting to a new lifestyle, I guess.
We have a lot of people watching right now, so if anybody wants to ask Luke a question, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I'll see it, and we'll put it up, and we'll throw it up there and see what type of answer Luke can give us on that. So you know your roommate and everything. Do you know any other freshmen that are coming in that you've already talked to?
So I know two guys from Houston Academy. There's a receiver, and then their quarterback are coming. My roommate's from Briarwood. I've talked to a guy from Southside. That's about it, though. I haven't talked to too many guys, but, I've talked to a few.
Hey, we got a comment. Here we go. Jason, Coach Dixon Williams says, scissors up.
That's who I was shouting out earlier. That's my quarterback coach right there. 6'6" or 7. You'll know him when you come to Pisgah. Look on the sideline. You'll pick him out.
Scissors up. What's up with that?
Scissors up. So that's just like our thing. We just do this like when we score, or just anytime I see him, and it's like a handshake.
Awesome. So some of the players that are coming in and some of your classmates you're going to be and all that. Going from being a quarterback for the last year or so to a tight end, do you think that's going to help you as far as route running and everything?
Yeah, so I get asked that a lot, but seeing the field as a quarterback and is going to help me as a tight end, just knowing kind of what everybody else is doing and what I need to do to make it easier on everybody else and to make it easier on myself, just because when you're a quarterback, you have to know what everybody's doing. You have to see the field. And so seeing the field last year is going to help me be a better player as a tight end, not just running routes, but blocking especially too.
I know a lot of freshmen, when they go in, are on the special teams and all that. Do you see yourself being a special teams player?
Yes, for sure. I think this year I can find the field on special teams. I think I can get in on offense too this year. Maybe not a whole lot, but maybe. But definitely special teams. I think I can get on the field that way. That's a way a lot of freshmen find themselves on the field.
Absolutely. So I know you're looking forward to it, and I know you expect a lot of big things. And the main thing is go down there and have fun, man. You played this game since you was a youngin, and you know what to do. Just go out and do it. Don't overthink about everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So, Phil, what you got for the young man?
I want to ask you this: as far as Coach Kelly's offense, what style of offense is he going to run?
So the offensive coordinator is Coach Trickett. It's kind of, we're 11 personnel, spread 11 personnel. We're going to go 12 personnel a little bit. Today in the meetings, we actually went over 12 personnel. So one running back, 2 tight ends, and throw the ball around a lot. They distracted me by saying that they are going to throw it to the tight ends. So that's a big deal.
Yeah. Is it going to be kind of like a power running football team?
I think it's going to be split. So, I mean, I could be wrong when I say this. I don't know. I haven't, but I would say from what I've seen, 50-50, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
Yeah,
60.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice. I like that kind of style because I think you protect your defense a little bit better.
A lot of option, RPO, a little bit of speed option, just a lot of option, but 50-50 run pass probably from what I've seen.
Yeah, that'll be good to see. Well, I know leadership is a big thing, and of course, I wanted to ask you about your grandparents. I know them, at least your dad's mom and dad, Karen and Kenneth. I guess they've spoiled you over the years, and probably one of your biggest fans. Do you expect a lot of your family and friends to show up at Jacksonville for game day? It's not that far away, and you may have your own rooting section.
Yeah, they've expressed to me that they are excited about getting to come down and watching. I've had a lot of people, a lot of like our family friends, a lot of my family and friends have expressed that they're going to come down and they're excited about it, and I'm excited for it too. But yeah, I definitely think I'll have a nice cheering section down there.
Well, that'll be. Is that one of the factors you was thinking about in recruiting? Is to try to stay as close to home as you could?
Yeah, and so UAB is not too much further than Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's a little bit closer to home, and it's a little bit more like home. So that did attract me too.
Yeah, because it's more of a country type area where UAB. I mean, UAB is a nice, safe place in that part of town, but you're still in the middle of Birmingham. But it's not country like Jacksonville is.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess you're really looking forward to that. The thing is about what are you going to miss about Pisgah? It's going to, I know when your last game, it's disappointing when you're going to wear that helmet for the last time. It's going to be tough to walk away and not be at Pisgah on Friday nights now.
Yeah, it is, especially with my dad coaching and my brother playing and all my friends still playing. It's going to be tough, but, of course I'll keep up with the games and I'll come when I can. But, probably not often at all, if any. But, yeah. But it's going to be tough being gone, especially on Friday nights. But, like I said, I'll keep up with them.
Well, I know everybody around here will be cheering for you. I know I definitely will because I know you're an outstanding young man. And even Jason Bowen was talking about, you're well-mannered young man. He goes, he's one of those people you'll think he's 30 years old, so he's kind of beyond his years. And I think that's going to help you, Luke. And you talk about getting on the field early. Maturity is a huge thing when you get to the college level because you're going to be playing against guys older than you. But if you're to a certain maturity, in other words, you take coaching, there's a great opportunity to get on the field.
I think so too. And you said that about Jason Bowen. I saw y'all had him on last night, wasn't it? Last night? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love Jason Bowen. I always speak to him. He came to one of our baseball games the other day. We were playing North Sand, and he was there. I spoke to him for a minute. I always like talking to Jason. But, yeah, I think that's a way I can find myself on the field too, just, living in the house of a coach and him. And I feel like I'm pretty coachable, so I think that I can get on the field that way too.
Well, tell me about some of the guys you were teammates with in football and basketball. Who's some of the guys that you're close friends with that you're probably going to miss? Because that's the thing is about when you do finish high school, these kind of relationships and memories are kind of going to go away, because you're not going to get to be together as much anymore. Who are some of your close friends? Who are some of the teammates that you played ball with to kind of give them a shout out?
Well, so Jackson Smalley, that's who I went bow fishing with last night. I was telling y'all about. He lives right up the road. Me and him have been close since we were little kids. Played with him basketball, football, and baseball. Legion was a running back in football. He went to Blue Ridge with us this weekend. Basketball, football, and he came out for baseball this year too. And then Cape Duncan, basketball and football. Me and him, we hunt together, duck hunt together, hang out. Caleb Jenkins, he plays all three sports. A lot of our guys, they go all 3 sports, but just about every one of them go at least 2 sports. Jet Jeffrey, he's a football only guy, but he hurt his knee this year, but y'all will be talking to him next year for sure. He's going to be a good player next year. He'll carry the ball a lot for Pisgah next year. Yeah, those are just the guys that come to mind when I think about 3 sport guys, 2 sport guys. I feel like I'm leaving some out, I know, but yeah, playing with those guys and then hanging out with them off the field too, it's a big deal. You build those relationships, and it helps you play together on the field and the court.
Yeah, definitely. But who are some of the teachers and coaches you're going to miss?
Definitely my dad. Coach Koger, like I told you about him earlier, coming in, taking over basketball. Gonna miss him. Coach Pruitt, he kind of expected a whole lot out of me, and I really liked that. Like he let me do some things on my own that he trusted me with, and so that was a big deal. I don't know. There's not a teacher at Pisgah that I can think of that I'm not gonna miss. I mean, like I would love to just be, home at the grocery store or something and run into any of them, and that's what I like about Pisgah is that I would, have a conversation with any of them at any time and get something out of it, So that's a big deal.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, Howie, I'll let you take over a few.
So, Luke, being quarterback this past season, and we've all saw it on TV, a quarterback will get sacked, and the first person there to help him up is usually the offensive lineman that gave up the sack.
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen to you any this past season?
Yeah, so my offensive line, Alex Flores, Chad Smith, Wes Arnold, Talon Lang, and J.J. Williams. So they – at the beginning of the year, had a little bit of trouble with protection, which was kind of on me because I wasn't used to it. I would just start running away, even though they had me in pocket. It would sometimes get me in trouble, and they would get mad at me, and the coaches would get mad at me. But we got it figured out, and if I got sacked, they were the first ones there to not only help me up, but ask me, "Hey, where'd I get sacked from? What can they do next time to get it figured out?" And that's a big deal, even if it was my fault, they were still, they had a little sympathy because, playing quarterback for the first year, I had a lot going on, and they were a huge help for me this year, especially Wes at center. He took charge a good bit, and it was a big deal.
So last year was your first year at quarterback, correct?
So I played, I think, 2 games at quarterback my sophomore year. Mason hurt his ankle, Mason Holcomb, and then my junior year, I played Mason Holcomb hurt his ankle or his shoulder against Tuscaloosa Academy in the quarterfinals. I finished that game and played against Fife in the semifinals, and then all of last season. So I did not much before last year, but a little bit.
How'd you enjoy being the quarterback?
I enjoyed it. It's not for everybody, but I really did enjoy it. I mean, especially playing for my dad calling plays, it was a big help too. But yeah,
I'm trying to remember. Y'all ran out of the shotgun pretty much the whole season, didn't you?
Yeah, we did go under center though occasionally, but yes, mostly shotgun.
Do you have any wild snaps that you're like, oh, where did that go? I mean,
I don't even think I don't even know that we had a bad snap all year. I mean, Wes was pretty spot on. And the backup center too, Eric. I don't remember there being a bad snap all year, to be honest with you.
You don't have to brag on them now because they're not protecting you no more.
I know, but you can't complain.
So you had a great run in football. Phil touched on it. Had a great run in basketball. Ended up playing down in Jacksonville. How did it feel going down there playing a couple of basketball games, knowing that this time next year you would be enrolled there?
I had already been down there a good amount of times at that point, and knew where I was going and stuff. I knew that's where I was going, and it felt good to go down there and play. A lot of people asked me, after the game, that really same question, and I guess it just didn't correlate in my mind until after, whenever they asked me that's where I was playing and where I would be for the next 4 years. So I don't know. It felt good though.
How did it feel how that breakaway slam against section?
Yeah, early on in the game, I was going to lay it up, but my best friend Jackson behind me, he just yelled, "Dunk it." So I figured I might as well try. So it went in. So that's all.
Had you not had a dunk in the regular during the season?
I had a few dunks, but I didn't feel completely. I mean, I can dunk, and I had a few dunks, but like at that time and that game and everything, I was just gonna make sure it went in. But because I went up for a dunk against North Sand, and it rimmed out, and I hadn't tried again in a game since then. So, but.
In baseball, how's your baseball season going, and how's your stats looking?
So we are in a 3-team area with North Sand and Section. North Sand swept us last week, so we've got to beat Section 2 out of 3 games to make the playoffs. So that's all we've got to do. We've played obviously other games, but that's the goal is beat Section 2 out of 3 games, make the playoffs, and that's the goal.
So everybody knows you played 3 sports, but you're a multiple position player. So in football, you played quarterback and safety, was it?
Quarterback and free safety, a little bit of linebacker occasionally, but mainly quarterback and free safety.
Which was your favorite position to play?
Quarterback, but I did like safety a lot.
Moved to basketball. What was your favorite position? Because I know being from a small school and everything, you got to play multiple positions. So
in years past, I had kind of been hanging around under the goal, but this year, Coach Koger kind of let me come out, handle the ball a little bit, get to the rim, and so I enjoyed playing forward. I did.
And then baseball, I have no idea where you play it in baseball. So
baseball, I pitch. I'm the ace, and then when I'm not pitching, I play shortstop. So, but I enjoy pitching.
Okay, cool. What's your fastest recorded speed on the pitching?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I would say I've been told somewhere around 81 or something like that, but that's just I don't know.
There's a feller that played Major League Baseball for a few years called Greg Maddox, and he made a living by pitching in the 80s, and it was all position. Where he put it at.
Hitting your spots, yeah. That's what the coaches preach to us. Just hit your spots, and you'll be all right. So that's what we try to do.
Awesome. So the catcher, who's your hind catcher? I mean, you told us who your center was.
It's my best friend Jackson Smalley that I was saying about. He's the hind catcher too.
Okay, so he puts down the signs for you, and you just try to hit the spots.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, the center Wes Arnold, he's probably our best pitcher, but he hurt his elbow and waited till after the season to get surgery, so he's out this year. But he actually calls the pitches for me, and then Jackson signals them to me. So,
good deal. Bill, you have anything else?
Well, I want to ask you this. I know you play a lot of rivalry games. Who was your favorite, or either favorite or most hated team that you played during your career?
I don't know. I guess probably North Sand Mountain. Just because I do know a lot of the guys over there, and I'm actually buddies with a few of them. But I would say if you ask me who our rival is, every sport, I would definitely say North Sand. They've got the best of us in baseball. We got the best of them in football, and then in basketball, it's kind of been swaying either way. So,
yeah, definitely. So, and I think that's where the love-hate things. A lot of the guys, you want to beat them naturally. It's kind of a love-hate. Well, tell me this. I know you mentioned going to church with Coach Pruitt. How important is your faith in your life?
Oh, it's a huge deal. Our church, so just about every coach on staff goes to church. Well, I go to New Home Baptist Church in Pisgah. It's a great church. We are actually on Easter Sunday. We're breaking ground on a new church. We're having to expand. I think we had 550 people last Sunday. I love going to church. I'm there on Sunday morning, Wednesday night. I'm super involved, and a lot of my friends are too. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing too about my friends is we're super involved in church and rooted well. So.
Yeah, and I guess that's a huge thing, and I guess you understand. I mean, that's like when y'all would win team of the week. I'd been to Pisgah a couple of times, and that's what I liked about what Coach Pruitt would do. He would bring everyone out on the field, and you could see where the elementary kids really looked up to y'all, and and he wanted y'all to see that because it's very important because you influence them younger players, younger kids, because they really look up to you guys, and that's important. And I noticed too, he would stand and talk to them more than he would y'all.
Yeah.
So you're a role model for them young people.
Mm-hmm. And I helped Coach Pruitt coach the A team this year. That helped me more than it even helped them. Just being out there, it was a blessing to be able to be out there with them. I love those kids. Anytime they see me, they come up, give me a high five or a hug or whatever. We got beat in the Super Bowl, but we were close. But It was a good season. Seeing the little kids look up to us, Coach Pruitt does a good job involving that, and it helps us hold ourselves to a higher standard. It helped us.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. I know you talked about that you didn't know if you want to be a teacher or a coach. You keep doing that right there. I said, you'll be like your dad. You'll be like Coach Pruitt. You'll get that fever, and you'll want to inspire these young kids because, and I think, and this is the way I said, I could have, but I didn't coach football, but being in the media and all, you get more inspiration out of them than they do out of you. And that's a lot of times I think why coaches keep coming back.
Yeah, coaching the A team, like I said, it was a bigger blessing for me than it was for me to help them. Me being out there to motivate them was a big deal, but they kept me motivated too, going to practice on weeknights and going to the games on Saturdays. I couldn't make it to every game because I was on recruiting trips and things like that, but they understood that. And but yeah, it was a great time coaching them. I loved it.
Well, a couple of more things I want to ask you about. One is, speaking of recruiting, like when you went to Jacksonville on your official recruiting trip, what all did you get to see? What all did they get to do? Did they kind of sort of lay the red carpet out for you?
Yes, they did. So we had, if I can remember right, I played basketball on a Friday night, so I didn't get to go down until Saturday morning. That day, we had a photo shoot. We ate good. We went to an arcade. We went bowling. We did all the things. It was fun. Had a nice dinner that night. Fed us breakfast the next morning. It was good. It was a good trip, and that really sealed the deal on what flipped me over.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the things you did when you went to UAB?
UAB, I had to go during the week. I went down on a Tuesday night and woke up the next day, did it all in one day. We went and ate breakfast and then sat through some meetings. Then went and ate lunch, toured everything, got to talk with a bunch of the different coaches. And then we went and ate, went out to eat nice that night, and then I came home that night, but I stayed down there. I only stayed down there one night, but it was good. UAB treated me great. I just think Jacksonville is just where the better place for me.
Yeah. What were a couple of the things that really attracted you to UAB that would have made you go there?
So like I said, they were my biggest offer at the time. I had some other Division I, but they were FCS. I love Coach Dilfer. Obviously he's a very respectable man. Everything he's done in his football career, his coaching career, the Elite 11, all of those things. I love Coach Dilfer. And UAB is a great school. It's hard to find a better school than UAB. In engineering, medical, other things like that. It's a great school. And Birmingham's not far from home either. And so there were a lot of things that attracted me there. But yeah, like I said, as soon as Jacksonville came on, I realized I had a decision to make and started weighing the options.
Well, I was going to ask you about Jacksonville State. Of course, you have your conference opponents. Are there any good road trips that they have? They play somebody, in the past, Jacksonville State's played Mississippi State or Florida State. Or do they have any good road trips?
I think not this year, but next year we play Auburn. But this year we go to Orlando to play UCF week 1. So I'm excited to go down there. So my first, I guess, hopefully I can travel, make the team and travel, and then be able to go down to Orlando. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, I want to ask you this: if me and Howie shows up at a football game down at Jacksonville, are you going to give us your autograph?
Of course, y'all better come find me and get a picture at least.
Yeah, we need to try to do that sometime. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Count on it. Let us know what your number is. We may even purchase a jersey, let you sign it.
Perfect. Sounds good. I'll let y'all know when I find out.
So I've saved the hardest and the best question for last. And
all right.
March Madness. How did your bracket do?
So we did a group with a bunch of my friends, and we submitted 2 brackets. Each bracket was $10 to submit, and the winning bracket gets the pot. Well, both of my brackets are in first, so I don't think I have anything to worry about there. Hopefully I'm winning the money.
You have the Final Four pick?
Yes, I was perfect in the Final Four, which it was all 1 seeds, so it's hard not to be, I guess.
Right. So who do you have winning it?
Auburn. I'm not an Auburn fan, but, I mean, you got to respect it.
I love the way you put that out there real quick there.
Yeah, I'm not an Auburn fan.
I'm not an Auburn fan.
I mean, they're good, so you gotta win.
Yeah, Phil quit watching after the Elite Eight when Tennessee got put out.
Did you know I didn't even get to watch that game?
Oh, really?
No, I didn't get to watch it. I didn't. I watched the Kentucky game, but my mother's had health issues, so she had surgery yesterday to replace her pacemaker. So I was tied up, and I didn't even get to watch it. I caught it one time; they were down 15-4, and then I saw the halftime score, and then I saw the end of the game score. Because, of course, I knew at that point they were in trouble. Because I think Tennessee had a chance to beat them because of their size inside. Because they took it to them and got fouls and got to the foul line. But the problem is Houston's a great guard team, and when you get in the league with a great guard team, you're going to win.
Mm-hmm. And I am an Alabama fan, so I was hurt when they got beat, but I did have Duke pick to beat them, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all about the money.
Yep, it's all about the money.
Yeah. That's the reason a lot of times I don't pick a bracket, because then you have to root for somebody that you don't like.
Yep.
Absolutely. Luke, great having you on here. When you get down, settled in at Jacksonville, we'd love to have you back on again and see how everything's going. And maybe before the season starts, maybe you give us a little insight as far as what the season's going to look like for Jacksonville and how everything is going for you. And tell us about that 4.0 grade point average you're going to have.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Or I think now they can even go above 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Or am I thinking about your 40 speed? Is that
no? Yeah, 4.1. The 4 just 4.
Yeah, 4.1.
What's the fastest you've been clocked at 40?
4.58 at Southern Miss. So that's my fastest time.
So I know I said I saved the hardest for the last, but going around to all these different places and everything, did you get to meet a lot of people and become friends with them and staying in contact with them?
I would talk to guys at camps and, maybe follow them on Instagram and keep up with them. But no, I'm not really in contact with any of the guys that I met. But going to camps, I would talk to guys. But since I committed to Jacksonville, I've gotten to those guys earlier. But no, not, so much was happening. We were trying to clean and stuff. So not really.
Okay. I didn't know how it was going on these visits and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a daughter that's in the band. We went down to Troy just a few weeks ago, and she met some people. Of course, we had some downtime to where she could actually meet and talk and still stay in contact, but I didn't know as far as going out and the recruiting process.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went out with some of the players when I went to Jacksonville, hung out for a while. But that's like that I did that, met some good guys there.
Awesome. Luke, best of luck to you. Phil, do you have anything before we let this young man go and do some catfishing?
No, I'm proud he was able. I reached out to him on Messenger and asked him if he might be available, and I knew it's a good time for you, but I want to try to catch you before you go to Jacksonville because I kind of wanted to hear how everything went and how everything was going to go. So I do appreciate your time and thanks for coming on and we're truly rooting for you down at Jacksonville. Hopefully, we'll be able to come down and see you at some point.
Yes, sir. I hope so. I really appreciate y'all for letting me be on again. I always enjoy it. So just feel free to reach out just whenever, and I'd love to be back on.
Phil, what about this young man here? He went from 2 years ago not having a band to last year having a band some. He disappeared on us.
Yeah. His phone man died.
I have. But he went from not having a band to having a band. Crossville band went and performed for Pisgah. There he is. He's back.
Right, there I am. Sorry, I was getting a phone call.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Tell him you're a big star. You don't have time for phone calls. You're doing interviews right now.
Yeah.
But how does it feel, Luke, going from no band to Crossville's band last year coming to performing for y'all? Now you're going to be at Jacksonville with the Southerners, 535 strong.
Their band's awesome. We were on Coach Pruitt about having a band. Pisgah used to have a band, I think, years and years ago, but it went away. And as soon as we heard anything about Crossville coming, we were all fired up. And they've done a great job. But yeah.
Yeah, that's you can that's one story you can tell the people down in Jacksonville. I went from not having a band to 530 something strong with the Southerners down there. That's I mean, Phil, if you've never heard the Southerners, you need to listen to them at least one time. It's
incredible. They do great. The stadium and everything, being the atmosphere with them playing, it's good.
Yeah, I'm planning on trying to go. Of course, I have to. I go to Tennessee games on Saturday. Are they going to still continue this scheduling where y'all play on Tuesday and Thursday and play on those ESPN games? I watched several of those games.
We'll play. I think we have 2 Wednesday night games. I don't know any of the other days, but I do think we have 2 Wednesday night games, and we'll play throughout the week on Saturdays, of course. But we will play throughout the week.
Luke, you need to have somebody get there. I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer. Phil, go ahead.
I was wondering, do the guys like playing the midweek games?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. Yeah. But I would say we like going to them. Coach Pruitt took us to 2 midweek games last year, and we had a great time. So I don't know how it'll be playing in the midweek, but I always enjoyed it as a fan going down there and watching.
Luke, you need to get Phil to get his priorities straight. Which more important, going and watching some Tennessee team play or going down to Jacksonville watching the hometown boy play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Tennessee has away games too, so I think you can find a way.
That's true. Hey, but when you invest $2,000 a year, you have to kind of sort of go.
Yeah.
Luke, thanks for joining us, man. We will have you back on once you get down to Jacksonville, and best of luck to you down there. If we can do anything for you, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out any way possible. And looking forward to eventually hearing about Luke Gilbert, Pisgah, Alabama NIL deal coming up.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be in the NCAA 2026 game. I guess that'll be the next one coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, good deal. So, Luke, thanks again. Fantastic. It's great talking to you as always. And so, for Phil Harris, Luke Gilbert, I'm the Howard Chaney. This is Beyond the Booth. Good night and God bless everybody.